Today is January 2nd, 2026. The city wakes to a new chapter, the skyline bathed in the soft glow of dawn, and a sense of transition lingers in the air. New York City has just closed the book on the Eric Adams era, a period marked by bold gestures, controversy, and a relentless drive to connect with everyday New Yorkers. Yesterday, Adams said his goodbyes, not with a grand speech in front of cameras and crowds, but with a simple social media video, holding a white coffee mug that had become something of a personal trademark. The mug, a gift from his City Hall staff, was inscribed with his most memorable quotes, catchphrases and off-the-cuff remarks that had peppered his time in office and become part of the city's daily conversation. This was classic Adams, personal, performative, and unmistakably his own. He always knew how to turn a moment into a message, and a simple object into a symbol. In the video, he reflected on his journey using the mug's quotes as a lens on his time as mayor. Each phrase sparked a memory, a story, or a lesson learned during his years in office. The setting was intimate, just Adams, his phone, and the mug, emphasizing his direct connection with New Yorkers. There were no advisors, no teleprompters, just a man in his city, saying goodbye in his own way. Throughout his tenure, he bypassed traditional media, favoring direct communication and cultivating an image of accessibility. He wanted to be seen as approachable, someone who would speak to you over coffee rather than from a podium. This final video was the culmination of that approach, a neighborly farewell, not a formal address. It was as if he was waving goodbye from across the street, not from the steps of City Hall. As he prepared to hand over the keys to Gracie Mansion, the mug's quotes summed up his legacy: bold, unscripted, and always in his own words. The mug was more than a keepsake, it was a reflection of his leadership style. Each phrase was a building block of the Adams persona, shaping his relationship with the city. They were reminders of his promises, his missteps, and his moments of candor. This final sip was a toast to his journey and the unique chapter he wrote in New York's history. It was a gesture both humble and theatrical, a fitting end to a mayoralty defined by its personal touch. The city, for better or worse, won't soon forget it. As the sun sets on one era and rises on another, New Yorkers are left with memories, stories, and the indelible mark of a leader who always did things his own way. The coffee mug became Adams's script for a final performance, an unassuming object, yet a silent witness to the drama and decisions that shaped his time in office. It sat on his desk through early mornings and late nights, absorbing the energy of a city that never sleeps. Each quote a snapshot of his 4 years, echoing through the city's newspapers, radio shows, and social feeds. These words became touchstones for New Yorkers, reminders of the mayor's presence in their daily lives. Stay focused. No distractions, and grind was his mantra, a call to relentless effort and the heart of his public persona. It was more than a slogan. It was a challenge to the city itself, urging every New Yorker to push through adversity, just as he had. There are two types of Americans, those who live in New York and those who wish they could, captured his boosterism and pride. Adams wielded this phrase like a badge, reinforcing the city's mythos and inviting outsiders to dream of joining its ranks. Adams sold the New York dream with the zeal of someone who'd lived it, a kid from Queens who rose to lead the city. His story was proof that the city's promise was real, that grit and ambition could still open doors. Some quotes were deeply personal. I wake up in the morning sometimes and look at myself and give myself the finger. Raw, unconventional, and revealing of his self-motivation. It was a glimpse into the private battles behind the public face, a reminder that leadership is as much about self-doubt as it is about confidence. Every morning I wake up and turn on my GPS. My God-positioning satellite highlighted his faith as a guiding force. For Adams, spirituality wasn't just a private matter, it was a compass, steering him through the city's chaos and complexity. Most telling, arrested, rejected, and now I'm elected. His life story in a line: redemption, resilience, and the outsider's perspective. It was a message to every New Yorker who'd ever felt left out or counted out. Your story isn't over. These phrases weren't just sound bites, they were Adams' narrative, shaping how he wanted to be remembered. Each quote was a building block in the legacy he hoped to leave behind, carefully chosen to resonate with the city's spirit. The mug was more than a prop, it was his legacy, distilled. Every time he lifted it, he seemed to raise a toast to the city and to the journey that brought him here. And with each quote, he reminded New Yorkers of the improbable path he'd walked, inviting them to believe, once again, in the power of words to shape destinies and in the city's endless capacity for reinvention. Stay focused, no distractions, and grind wasn't just a slogan, it was Adams' governing philosophy. He embodied the grind, always present, always working, always visible. This mantra shielded him from criticism, framing controversy as mere distraction from the real work. Adams' story, from working-class kid to police captain to mayor, was one of relentless striving. He positioned himself as the ultimate striver, someone who understood New Yorkers' daily hustle. But critics argued that constant motion wasn't always progress. Some problems like housing and migration persisted. The grind defined his style, perpetual motion, public engagement, but its effectiveness remains debated. As his term ends, the city weighs whether the grind was enough. Eric Adams's journey to City Hall was anything but typical. Born and raised in Brooklyn, Adams grew up in a working-class family, experiencing firsthand the challenges and complexities of New York life. His early years were marked by both hardship and resilience, shaping his determination to make a difference in his community. He spent 22 years in the NYPD, rising through the ranks to become a captain, a background that deeply influenced his focus on public safety and crime prevention. Adams's time on the force gave him a front-row seat to the city's struggles, and he became known for his hands-on approach and willingness to challenge the status quo within law enforcement. As a black man who'd experienced police brutality himself, Adams also became a reformer, co-founding 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care. This organization advocated for accountability and fairness, pushing for change from within the system and supporting communities too often overlooked. After retiring from the NYPD, Adams entered politics, first serving as a state senator and then as Brooklyn Borough President. In these roles, he worked to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the communities they serve, focusing on issues like affordable housing, education, and public health. Adams built a reputation for passionate advocacy, undeniable charisma, and sometimes eccentric ideas, like promoting plant-based diets for better health. He became a champion for Brooklyn's diverse neighborhoods, often highlighting his own journey as proof that anyone could rise to lead the city. His 2021 mayoral campaign promised not just public safety, but also systemic reform and opportunity for all. Adams leveraged his unique biography to build a broad coalition, appealing to New Yorkers from every walk of life. Adams presented himself as the pragmatic, steady leader New York needed to guide the city out of the pandemic and into a new era of recovery and growth. His victory was a testament to his ability to connect with a diverse electorate, uniting people across boroughs and backgrounds with a message of hope and resilience. On January 1, 2022, the former police captain officially took the helm of New York City, stepping into the role of mayor at a pivotal moment in the city's history. His unconventional path, from blue uniform to City Hall's helm, became central to his political brand, symbolizing both the city's challenges and its enduring spirit of possibility. Adams' 4 years as mayor were marked by action and controversy. He prioritized public safety, launching a blueprint to end gun violence and overseeing a drop in shootings and homicides. He pushed for economic recovery, championed job growth, and streamlined city services. But his term was defined by the migrant crisis. Tens of thousands of asylum seekers overwhelmed city resources, sparking criticism and legal battles. Federal investigations into his campaign fundraising cast a shadow, fueling perceptions of chaos and ethical lapses. These controversies, along with his combative style, contributed to his failed re-election bid. Adams's legacy is a mix of tangible achievements and unresolved crises. Adams faced the city's toughest challenges, balancing public safety with police reform and tackling the affordability crisis. His tough-on-crime stance reduced shootings but reignited debates over aggressive policing. Rents soared, homelessness grew, and his housing plan struggled to keep pace with demand. The migrant crisis pushed city services to the brink, forcing emergency measures and painful budget cuts. His unscripted style and federal investigations eroded public trust. Navigating crime, affordability, humanitarian crisis, and ethics proved a daunting test. Ultimately, voters decided it was time for a new direction. As Adams exits, a new era begins with Zohran Mamdani, a 34-year-old assemblyman from Queens. Mamdani's victory marks a dramatic shift left, a democratic socialist promising housing, healthcare, and transit as rights. His election is historic, the first South Asian and Muslim mayor of New York City. His background reflects the city's evolving diversity and the rise of immigrant political power. Mamdani's midnight swearing-in at a decommissioned subway station, using the Quran, signals a break from tradition and a focus on everyday New Yorkers. The transition from Adams to Mamdani is one of the most significant ideological shifts in a generation. Supporters see a mandate for radical change, opponents fear for public safety and the economy. The city stands at a crossroads, poised for a new chapter. Mamdani's challenge: turn bold promises into practical governance. New York is watching, ready for what comes next. The transfer of power from Adams to Mamdani is more than a personnel change. It's a seismic shift in New York politics. Adams, the pragmatic ex-cop, gives way to Mamdani, the progressive organizer. Adams' farewell video, full of swagger and self-reflection, closes one era. Mamdani's subway, swearing in, opens another, rooted in ideology and collective action. For some, hope and excitement. For others, anxiety about safety and the city's future. The coming months will test Mamdani's ability to deliver on his vision. The city's fate now hangs in the balance. Eric Adams' legacy will be debated for years. His farewell video, reading quotes from a coffee mug, captured his unique, sometimes confounding style. His greatest hits were more than policy. They were the story he told about himself and the city. He delivered on public safety, but the migrant crisis and ethical questions defined his term. His quotes: "Stay focused, no distractions, and grind. Arrested, rejected, and now I'm elected," will echo as part of New York's story. Adams was the swagger mayor, the grinder, the city's biggest fan. As the city turns to Mamdani, the contrast will sharpen memories of the Adams years. In a city of 8 million stories, Adams was unforgettable.